Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to another episode of the NXT Sour Graps thing, but this time it's on a Saturday. It's a deadline.
But this time it's on a Saturday. It is on a Saturday, Alex. In fact, it's on Saturday, December 6th.
Mm-hmm.
So I would invite people to get in their super chats, get in their humper chats, and to do it before the show is done, because you're going to want to meet the deadline, which is what we're here to talk about, Alex.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when I don't think I've ever shared this before, Alex. Sometimes when Iron Survivor comes around, the two other times that it has, I think of Eye of the Tiger, but like,
oh no, for sure, yeah.
Iron Survivor, dun dun dun, sour grapes, and I feel like either we should remix it or NXT should remix it. But I said the idea, so if NXT does it, they should pay me money specifically, so that I can buy everybody in the SGS puppets.
Right. So I mean, I think just to spin out, I'm picking up what you're putting down, and I'm gonna spin out from this. So like, sour graps, sour graps, sour graps, sour graps, sour graps, sour graps. Right, like that. Like that should be our new theme song. I don't think.
First of all,
that
nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crushed it right away.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. This is good. Get in your super chats to talk with us about. Get
in your soupies, okay? You're gonna want to get in your soupies. You're gonna want to get in your humpies.
Oh, okay. We're doing humpies tonight as well. Okay, good.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing humpies all night long.
Okay, all right, fine. No.
We're gonna ask you to subscribe to Fightful Select, where you can vote early for the Fightful Awards, which you can sponsor, much like Meet Normus, much like Greg Cherry, much like Matthew Hooks. Bam, 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 bam. SGS coming out to support Fightful in every way possible.
Yeah.
Plus, it'll just make me feel good. And Alex, I'm very tired.
No, I know. Yeah,
it's just nice that you guys help us out, because I need it today.
You got your bridesmaid on yesterday.
Oh, why did I?
And like you had the schedule of a female talent at Stand and Deliver. You were in the hair and makeup chair at 7 p.m. 7 a.m. and went through all night doing bridesmaid stuff.
That is an upsettingly accurate comparison, because we had to. There was like, I forget how long these days are, because I'm not in my 20s. And when I was in my 20s, I was like, 3 hours sleep, no problem. Let's go to work. Like, I was fine. Not the case anymore. Compromised lungs, and I'm old. So we like met at the hotel before around 6, and then we took the Uber over to the venue, which meant my ass had to be up at 5 because I had to walk the dog and I had to grab all my stuff. So it was like a 20-hour day. But I did not watch WrestleMania. It's in Jersey, so there was fist pumping, and there was hair and makeup and pictures and angling myself and a run through of the ceremony, which is, I gotta say, we did it the day of, and Alex, it turned out all fine because it was a short ceremony. And as a bridesmaid and as a husband, you're mostly rehearsing walking and then standing there. So I don't want to brag, but like we pretty much knocked it out of the park with a rehearsal walkthrough. So
yeah.
So we pretty much crushed walking and standing. But yes, I am an Iron Survivor.
Yeah.
To be honest, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's
Not
probably why
anemic.
I'm like mid
Not
'80s rock
anemic.
songs.
No.
And I was just at a Jersey wedding, so there was like Bon Jovi and stuff. It probably wasn't like a deep pull for me to
Yeah.
pull out
Right.
Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah. So get in all the soupies and the humpies.
Yeah.
If you did not watch Deadline, but you are hanging out here with us, you are our people. If you spent your evening this evening watching AW Collision and you would rather send in a soupy or a humpy about that, feel
Sure.
free. We will accept your money. But I don't think either of us watched that show yet, so we'll just be, you can just lie to us. That's great. We're gonna decide whether or not we're gonna lie to all of you people who didn't watch Deadline. So,
Well, Alex, I had an idea for a pun because it's
yeah,
Deadline. We could do like newspaper puns,
that sounds great,
like news
and
story puns.
also incredibly timely in the zeitgeist. Everybody subscribes to newspapers now, so it's gonna be great.
They
Print
subscribe
media,
to dirt sheets like Fightful Select, the best $5.99 in the biz, Alex.
yes, that's true. Print media, not at all dead. Line,
No.
so it's perfect. You know what I mean?
Thriving industry right now.
Yeah, yeah. Would you can't walk down the street without passing at least 4 or 5 newsstands.
Ugh.
Little kids out there going extra, read all
Yeah.
about it. Femi is the 2-time NXT champion because yes, in fact, that did happen in our first match.
Alex, when I walk outside, it's basically the musical Newsies. They're thinking about working at the banner.
Mm-hmm.
And today's banner headline is Femi is a 2-time NXT champion. I will say on the whole, one, this, we're being real, I think this kicked the crap out of War Games. And two,
I mean,
this show was full of implications. Like, some stuff I liked, some
so
that didn't.
many things implied.
But like it was consequential, which when you run thinner cards like this, I appreciate. Like even when it's not my favorite moves, I'm like, thank you for having done stuff because it keeps your attention. And today was an interesting one, Alex.
Yeah, it was. It was an interesting one. There were so many things that had been implied from this, and that we might have inferred erroneously.
Sure.
Not erroneously, erroneously. There were major interviews on the pre-show that then got shown again during the show if you were watching it on Netflix in other countries. They you know what the best part about NordVPN is? I haven't heard of Wheatley so good at drinking. I
kind of miss it, honestly.
I haven't seen any of those since I started watching. I mean, I you know what? Once a week, I'm fine. 10 times in 3 hours, I too much. So in lieu of the Wheatley's commercials, they would do other things. And one of the things that they did was they showed extended interviews with both Kendal Gray and Dion Lennox. It was really interesting because it did seem to imply with those extended interviews with those two, one woman and one man only, that those were the two to keep an eye on during this particular episode. And one of them turned out to be true and the other one did not. And so that's good. It keeps us on our toes. So that's nice. But they also told us on Tuesday that we would be starting tonight for the first time ever. The men's world title match would be the curtain jerker. And we were like, the only reason you would do that and announce it ahead of time is because you have major implications coming from that have to make sure that match happens right at the beginning of the show and not later. And they served it because there were no such implications that made that match have to start the show. But it's a good match. It's interesting because when I say we found out last night, everybody else found out last night because I did not watch SmackDown, and I found out during the opening match that the winner of the opening match would have the honor of losing to Cody Rhodes next Saturday. And I thought to myself, man, this is the only time I am not rooting for Oba Femi, because I'd rather not watch Oba Femi lose to Cody Rhodes next Saturday. This turned out to be an entirely different match than the first match they wrestled. It was very back and forth. It felt like it's really interesting because the storyline with Ricky was that Ricky seemed to be retroactively doubting his win. Like, I Oba, but nobody can.
How'd I even pull that off?
I must have just gotten really lucky.
Yeah.
How did I pull that off and go? And he got ahead of himself. Maybe the tactic that he tried last time is the tactic that it takes to beat Oba Femi. Just DDT him 4 times on his skull and inside of 45 seconds, and maybe you'll actually be able to pin him. And whether or not you want to call that luck or a tactic, fine. But it did feel like he was trying all types of new things, thinking to himself, Oba will be ready for the stuff that I did to him last time, so I can't even attempt it once. And I don't know, it might have worked, because he didn't attempt any of the stuff he did in September against him. It was an entirely different kind of match that he was wrestling. And Oba was for this, but the thing about Oba that is great is that he learns on the fly within the matches. He always goes, okay, well, that didn't work, or this hurt, or whatever, and he's changing his tactic. And he was actually kind of almost, it felt like Oba was letting Ricky tire himself out, thinking, if I hit Ricky with any of my big moves, he's done. So if I can just get him to open himself up to that, I'll win. And meanwhile, Ricky is trying to play 4D chess with King Kong. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. Bishop to Rook 9. If King Kong grabs you, he's going to crush you. So probably stay away from King Kong. And Ricky was like, I'm going to go toe-to-toe with Beast. And it didn't work out for him. At the end of this, Oba hit the fall from grace. Ricky kicked out at 2.99. And then he hit like a full-on last right, lift you up, sit out, fall from grace, powerbomb on him. Pinned him. He beat him. Like, Oba's the champion again.
Your internet's a little jumpy, but this is my favorite comment, is that the fog is probably rolling in for your internet. But I still got what you said, and I agree that, like, I felt like this match was so much more, the story was so much more vivid somehow, from an in-ring storytelling perspective. And I like the decision, I think. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens with this Tony D stuff. I agree with you about the Cody Oba thing. I don't know how you pull that off. But I'm actually intrigued to see it, because the thing I like most about Cody is his in-ring storytelling, and as a white meat babyface, he does very well with guys that are a lot bigger than him. So I'm like actually very excited to see how that match unfolds if they don't do something stupid. But with this match, it's so funny because there's been something that's been like an overarching criticism of mine that I think I've misidentified, which is that I feel like there's a bit of a gap between some of like the NIL kids and people we see coming from other companies or the indies or whatever. And I've been describing it more as like a lack of grit, which makes sense if you are newer to this. But what makes even more sense is I'm watching this today and I was like, there's just a difference when guys and gals and everyone in between. It's not no gender specificity here. When you're wrestling with like every cell of your body, there's like this huge gap between you and everybody else. Ricky always does that. Oba like always does that. It is not every cell of your body every second of the match. Mostly from Ricky today it was, because like you said, the story was he's playing 4D chess. But there's just such a difference between when you're doing that and when you're not. And I feel like I see that as an identifier across all of wrestling. Mercedes Moné, always wrestling with every cell that's in her body, I feel like. Where there's some people, and it makes so much, when that clicked for me watching this match, I was like, when we talk about it all the time, like this is also essentially wrestling school. Of course, some people aren't doing that. It's the most unnatural shit in the world, right? But like I've never been able to articulate, in my opinion, the difference between good wrestling and great wrestling, or even very good and great wrestling, or even like really, really good and great wrestling. And I think that's it. It's just like every cell of your body is locked in, telling the story, present in the moment in this wrestling match. And I think that's why I take to, because there's very few common threads between like a Zack Sabre Jr. and an Eddie Kingston, right? Like my taste is all over the map, but the one commonality there is it's like every single cell of those people's bodies are in the moment from the second they step out from behind the curtain. And I'm watching these two guys go at it today. And I'm like, man, that's what this is to me. Like, this was, I felt like a huge leap forward from their first match, but I also felt like it was such an evolution of the story between the two of them. I'm so intrigued to see, like, what happens with what we'll talk about with the end of the show, because I don't know. I in a good way, I don't know what's next with that. But I was not totally surprised by the result, because like Oba losing to Ricky twice feels a little bit weird. But also Ricky having it for such a short amount of time felt weird. So I was like, both of those feel like they could be a toss up. But what I look to in that situation is, does the match we got justify the ending? And to me, that was a big yes today, because Ricky told this story of like just over engineering and losing because of that. Because how did I beat this guy the first time around? I don't even know. It's such like an interesting thing, because you're right, we don't get that after a match a lot. A champion being like, how'd I even pull that off, is like a really unique story to tell. And we got it really brightly today. I felt like I liked it a lot.
That I don't know if it would have been so clear to me watching the match had he not, in all of his promos and in talking to Oba and in that interview that he had, talked about the phenomenon of, I don't even know how I won the first time. You know what I mean? Like that kind of, like that second guessing success.
Yeah.
Like, how many of us have that particular toxic trait? You know what I mean? Like you overthink everything. Like, okay, well, that worked out, but the only way it could have worked out is if somebody else made a mistake, because obviously I can't be responsible for good things happening to me. Like there's so many people who have that. I love the idea that Ricky Saints has that after beating Oba Femi. Like, I can't believe I won. Think thinking to yourself, that's not a repeatable instance.
Yes.
So I don't think I can beat him again. So I've got to do a whole bunch of other stuff thinking maybe that will help me win. And he got in his own head about having become the champion against this guy, and that cost him this time. And Oba is just, the thing I love about Oba so much is that he has no heel face allegiance.
Correct. Same.
He's a hurricane doesn't have a heel face allegiance. It is just a destructive force of nature. It doesn't care what's in its way. It's going from here to there and be damned. But everything else be damned about it. And so what's great about it is you can put him in the ring with anybody. He's going to wrestle the same way. You know what I mean? And that's really cool. And he didn't wrestle heel in this match, but there was some times where he got pissed at Ricky, and it really showed. He did a PK to Ricky while standing still. He didn't do the running one. He just stood there. Ricky sat up and shot him a mean look, and he looked down at Ricky and just kicked him as hard as he could in the chest with just swiveling his hip, and it obliterated Ricky. Like he finds new fun stuff. Did you happen to notice tonight he brought out the big ending? He did a big ending to Ricky, like as a transitional move to go for a 2 count.
Oh, yes.
He hit Big E's old big ending move, and I was like, I really hope that's like a nod from Big E and been like, yes, you can use that, and
passing it down,
like, because it's what a perfect guy to give that move to. I also think that Oba, especially on the main roster, and let's be real, they'll never let him do it, but he should have 5 giant moves that if he catches you with one of them, you're done.
Yeah.
Because of how strong he is. And I love that maybe one day he could win a match with a big ending, kind of as a tribute to Big E. Like, and by the way, they introduced him as the same weight that he was in September, and that is a lie. No, they're like 310 pounds. I was like, he was 310 pounds in August. Look at him now. Like he's got
Ricky Starks to one arm and one other Ricky Starks to the other arm and mass.
He's got 310 pounds just in them titties. Like that, he is so huge now, and I love it because he hasn't sacrificed any speed. Because the thing about him that was so great as a big man is that he could move through the ring so fast, and he can still do that.
It's not even just that he's fast; it's that he's quick.
Yeah,
like he's quick in his movements. Like he moves fast across the ring, which is important. But like sometimes when guys put on that mask because their body is literally shaped different, they lose the quickness with which they snap off moves, and he hasn't done that either. And that's something I always look for. Yes, it was very cool to see him use the big ending, and Big E's talked favorably and put him over so much in interviews as like someone who could be the next generational star. So I'm hoping that sticks around and is like kind of a cool tribute too, especially with Big E's legacy to that belt and NXT obviously. When you said big ending, I was like, that the finish was I was like, no, the big ending, like
the big
real.
ending, the big E ending. Yes. So the thing I liked about this the most is he beat him, and then Ricky stood up,
show of respect,
and walked over to him, put out a hand, and Oba shook it back. It was this good. Like, you beat me the first time. I told you I was going to beat you the second time, but you put up a fight.
Yeah,
I could tell that you did not want to lose this title. Lesser men would have hid and crawled away, but you stood toe-to-toe with me and gave me your best shot, and for that, I respect you. That's why I love Oba, man. Like, he fights sometimes with such disdain, but he respects a man who will stand toe-to-toe with him and fight. It's so great. It's such a perfect thing for him.
You know, it's funny because I was at this wedding yesterday, so I missed all the graps, but I came home and I watched some of the ROH pay-per-view. And Red Velvet versus Mercedes was big for a lot of reasons, right? Like,
yeah,
Red Velvet won, which begins the Mercedes downfall, presumably, and all these things. But like, Mercedes was great and gave her a ton to work with, which was awesome. But there was something with Red Velvet that, like, she was fighting to get her title back. And you and Sean talk about this every Wednesday, and rightfully so, because it's rampant in AEW and it's rampant all over American wrestling television. And quite frankly, New Japan and CMLL too, at least from, from what I've watched. There's so many damn belts on these shows, Alex. So when people come out with an extra intensity to fight for one, to make it mean more, that means something to me as a fan. Because when there's so many belts and everything is so static with these damn belts, like, it's on the performers kind of to make them important in that way. And this is 2 nights in a row now that, like, I felt like Velvet came out stiff and ready to fight, and she wanted her damn TV title back. And tonight, Ricky and Oba felt like that title meant something today. And like, it's really refreshing to see that, because it wasn't especially the top titles in companies should never feel routine. I would argue none of them should ever feel routine. Certainly title changes shouldn't feel routine, but like, I have such an appreciation when wrestlers take it upon themselves to assign more importance to belts. And I feel like this was 2 nights in a row that we got that. And I just, I applaud wrestlers for doing that. I really, really felt like both of these guys really wanted that title. And I feel like that show of respect that you're referring to at the end was a punctuation mark on that thing of just like, I respect that you wanted to hold on to your title this bad. I wanted it too. I thought it was great. So good job wrestling the past 2 nights. We need more of that.
Yes, in case you also missed the announcement from SmackDown last night, they did announce that the winner of this match would face Cody Rhodes during the big NXT versus main roster exhibitions showcase that also features John Cena's last match. Because apparently John Cena announced that he would be curtain jerking in his last match.
Which is
okay, fine, whatever. That's like,
it feels so Cena-y. Like, it just feels.
Oh my god!
You know what? There's something I really respect about it, in that, like, everybody would be waiting around the whole rest of the show. No one's gonna give a crap about the first part of the show if John Cena goes out last, right? So if they just rip the Band-Aid off, but what I honestly think it is Saturday night's main event is still on a specific time, and I think they don't want to go over time-wise.
Oh,
by having Cena go on at the end, like, but
yeah, I guess that's true. It to me, it just
remember Goldberg.
Well, yes, that is true, but also it would be very odd to be like, okay, first match, John Cena, Gunther, and then win or lose, he delivers a speech, and then after that, let's watch Sol Ruca versus Bailey and Cody versus Oba Femi. That's so weird. But to me, it just because I think I have enough evidence to suggest this to infer. It just feels more like Triple H sabotaging John Cena's last match more.
Well, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Is it because of the everything to do with his retirement?
It is because of the everything that I think.
I got it. Ready? Yeah. John Cena loses to Gunther. Gives us. Well, first of all, okay. Obviously, Triple H kicks off the show.
Right. Yeah.
Duh.
Yes.
John Cena and Gunther have a fantastic match.
Sure.
A fantastic match. John Cena says, this is how I know it's time to hang it up, because I can't beat guys like this anymore. Like I'm the greatest of all time, and now it's time for and then Brock Lesnar comes out and just F5s him 47 times in a row.
Yeah.
Suplexes him 80 more times in a row. Then Soul Ruca and Bailey.
Yeah, then so Ruca and Bailey. There you go. That's good.
Hunter Bailey.
Anyway, so there is a lot of discussion as to what you do with a Cody Rhodes and Oba Femi match. And how that might be put together. And Ryan, hold on, I think it was Ryan. Yeah. Ryan says would have been fine with Ricky and Cody, but that'd be safe. I do hope they book aggressive and Oba wins convincingly. Well, convincingly, no. Could he kick the hell out of Cody for like 5 minutes and Cody be like, oh my God, this, what am I supposed to do with this guy? But then Cody eventually wins because, you know, America. Like, it's certainly possible. I see a lot of people speculating that Drew McIntyre will show up and cost Cody the match. However, after tonight, there's a possibility another someone could show up and cost Oba the match. So we'll just have to tune in and watch after John Cena cuts his final promo and leaves forever.
I'm nervous about the ending. I look forward to the in-ring because I actually feel like Cody's at his best in this situation. But I'm very nervous about the ending. I'm very nervous about the ending.
Yeah. Hold on. Tim sends in $20 Canadian and says, hello, SGS friends. In a shocking heel turn, I watched the first hour of Deadline. Booker was horrible, so I switched to French commentary. Sacre bleu, it was so much better. Not good enough to keep me from switching to AEW, though.
I forgot to mention this in the beginning of the show. I messaged you this because it made me laugh so hard. Booker T is like... it's so stupid.
He said a lot of stupid stuff tonight.
But at the beginning of this, they're talking about the Iron Survivor match, and Booker T goes, yeah, John Cena's fingerprints are all over the show. Give it up for John Cena. As if John Cena's there. Like, it's just the way he said it. It made it sound like he's the SNL host cutting away to the musical guest of like, ladies and gentlemen, John Cena. I was in stitches because it was like it was a stand-up comedy host. Give it up for Dane Cook. Like, it made it sound like he was there so bad, and it was just the way he said it. But I was losing my mind.
It's not even introducing the next comic. It's where the comic comes out and talks about the guy who went on before them. So it's on nonchalant. Yeah. It's like, hey, yeah, everybody, one more time. Give it up for the dude who came before me. Huh? Round of applause for that guy. What was his name?
Oh my God, it was so good.
Anyway, Booker was especially terrible. And Tim, because he is bilingual, could just turn it over to the French commentary and be fine. And I was like, I had to explain to him, we are Americans. We are all dumb. So none of us speak an extra language good enough to switch it over to whatever. We're all dumb.
Though there are times where if I'm watching New Japan, I'll listen to the Japanese commentator. And trust me, I'm not far enough along in Duolingo to be keeping up. But like, the energy of certain commentators in other languages is just so damn fun. But yeah.
Ryan says, would love if Oba and Cody went the KO and Cena route. So would I, and I don't think we're going to get that.
I don't think
it's
so
awesome. So our first Iron Survivor match, and it was so nice of them to run back that wonderful narrated by a guy talking to fifth graders. The Iron Survivor match lasts 25 minutes. Every 90 seconds, that's 1 minute plus 30 seconds.
That's what it felt like.
It did.
Tell us about the Iron Survivor match.
Yeah.
Okay. there's a penalty box. And if you get pinned, you go in the penalty box. Tell you what, you're up 20 hours. You come home, you're exhausted. Don't mind being talked to like a 5-year-old.
Yeah, sometimes
hit me in the right place today.
Sometimes it helps. As I said, they hit pretty hard on the Kendal Gray. You're the dark horse in the match. Let's give you a 5-minute interview where you talk about how you were a super John Cena fan at age 8, and all this kind of stuff, and why you think you might win this thing. And I was like, wow, they really dipped hard into that. Not gonna have Kendal Gray win this, right? Because she's the Evolve champion. So it feels weird to like double dip into the NXT World Championship thing while you're also the Evolve champion. But that is exactly the route they went. Most of this match was dominated by the story of Kelani and Jordynne Grace hate each other. So much so that it kind of threatened to take me out of it a little bit. Like I was like, okay, we get it. They don't like each other very much.
She doesn't even have the title anymore.
I know it's just they just don't like each other. They blame each other for them not being the Knockouts champion. I don't know. And Lola in the match, she just felt like she was in the match. Just in the match. Like she did well in the match, but it didn't feel like Kendal won the thing. So like I'll give her a pass. Like Ruca has this whole Zarya storyline, which we're gonna get to in a second. And then there's the Jordynne v. Jordynne feud that's going on right now. So that's got a whole thing. And Lola doesn't have a story in the match. She's just in the match. And she did well, but of all the people, she was the least possibility to me, simply because she's got nothing going on right now. But Soul had a FaceTime right before the match. She was sitting on a couch in the back, talking to Zarya Zelta on FaceTime about, hey, gosh, I want to apologize for everything because I really would have loved to have had you here for this. And she's like, yeah, I mean, I apologize too. I would have loved to have been there, but I thought you wouldn't want me there. Why? Because you attempted to spear her in the spine and then you got into a shoving match with her?
Weird.
That's weird. And they're like, no, because I kind of miss my friend, and like we're gonna have to talk when you get back, says Zarya. And Soul's like, yeah, absolutely, we'll totally hash it out when I get back. But the match is starting right now, so I should probably go. And Zarya's like, oh, why would you call me right now? That's weird. But also the thing that made me go, was you can see Zarya on the FaceTime. She's in full character gear from the neck up, like the biker taker bandana and full makeup. Full makeup, which is like, and so I was like, oh yeah, you're FaceTiming her at home. Sure. Like somebody's not going to jump the barricade and spear you out of your boots right at the end of the match. Right. And no, because apparently just Zarya just wears that stuff while she's hanging around the house.
Hell yeah.
So Soul comes in last, and Kelani Jordynne, who had just been pinned, so should have been in the penalty box 20 seconds ago, attacks Sol Ruca as she's getting up on the apron, smashes her knee into some stuff, and then the refs finally decide to put her in the penalty box. And Sol hobbles to the back with the help of some trainers, but then she comes back 2 minutes later and she's fine. And I was like, either write her out of the match or don't do the spot. because it wasn't like the rest of the match was about her getting even with Kelani, because it wasn't. And she immediately tied the leader. I think the leader was Kendal Gray at the time, by doing a double soul snatcher in the corner. And so she pinned two people immediately. The way this came down to, I believe, was with 2 minutes left, it was all tied at 2.
Correct.
And that's an important thing to remember when I tell you how the men's match was laid out.
This is the limitation of the stipulation, unfortunately. Like, we'll talk about it more. But
with 2 minutes left, it's all tied at 2, and that is my preference for how this should go. From a couple of years ago, where Trick was down by like 4 pinfalls and made it all up in 35 seconds. I hated that. This, when it's 2-all with 2 minutes to go, you figure the next pin's gonna win. And so all of a sudden you can really book that final 2 minutes really interestingly. And it winds up being that both Jordynne and Jordynne have a chance to win inside of 30 seconds, but then they start fighting each other and they go to the outside and they're brawling. And Lola Vice is the only person who's available to do anything in the ring. She turns around and Kendal Gray, who got out of the penalty box 5 seconds earlier, does a jumping flatliner from the top rope and pins Lola Vice with like 2 seconds left. And so Kendal Gray, I believe, wins 3-2 to 2-2. I thought all the women did a very good job here. I don't think you should have Jordynne Grace in the match unless you're willing to really book her to be strong, because as much as I like the other 4 women in this match, and I do, to varying degrees, I really like all of them. Jordynne Grace is a top 15 wrestler in the world for the women. She may be higher than that, and none of these other women, are anywhere close to that yet. They may be eventually, but Jordynne's got all kinds of experience. She's by far the strongest woman in this match, and I think she got her. The 2 pinfalls she got were incredibly like desperation pinfalls.
Yes.
Like, please, oh God, let me pin this person. And then she tweeted out later, looks like my best just isn't good enough anymore, which is absolutely not the story I want you to continue with Jordynne Grace. She's amazing. For God's sake, just let her be amazing, and then she could tweet about how amazing she is, rather than, I suck, I guess, because she doesn't suck. She's great, and I want to watch her suck less than they make her suck.
This on the whole was very good, but the show is called Sour Grabs, so I'm going to complain about some things.
Sure, please do.
Let me open up my notes because there were a couple of specifics I wanted to call out. My biggest thing is, like, is Sol Ruca still injured or is she not? Is she cleared to compete in the match she's in or is she not? And with the full understanding that, like, she's never done this before. And when I say this, I mean a worked injury in a match angle for multiple weeks before.
Yeah.
Like, there are just certain things offensively that either one, her leg was magically healed and she was fine, and then a couple seconds later it wasn't, which honestly can happen when you're working injured. Like, adrenaline kicks in at certain points, but it was the way that it was done. And then on top of that, like, if you have a compromised leg, this is the part that feels like, I hope this is wrestling experience she takes with her. There are certain things you wouldn't attempt offensively with a compromised leg or knee, right? And so what I would want to see that I felt like I wasn't getting from her performance in the match was, one, she should have had eyes out for Zarya, even if she wasn't going to be there, because she shouldn't trust her. And 2, I would love to see her have some moments in the match herself of like, oh, my leg is cooked. Like, I either can't do this move or like some more nervousness setting up for certain things. Like, I didn't feel like she was connected to the fact that she was injured at all in this match. She was just like, double soul snatcher, I'm great. So, like, I need to see more of that if this angle is going to be so persistent. That's really nitpicky, but it's like, these are the things that separate wrestlers, I feel like.
Because I need a little bit more realism from her when it's this injury. Because she's actually dealt with a torn knee that kept her out for a year.
Yeah.
So she should know what it's like. Actually, make that like if this gets really torn, I don't want to miss another year. Like I'm at the point where they're giving me a match against Bailey at the same show where John Cena is having his last match. Like, it's an amazing honor. And if I get hurt in this match, I don't get to do that match. You were talking about Ricky Saints second guessing himself because he won a match he didn't think he had any right to win. Like, a little bit of Soul second guessing herself during this match because, like something like that. Like, she does. Admittedly, it's a fun little maneuver. It's cool to watch. It's impressive. Kipping up onto one leg is cool, right? But it's a thing that you have to do because you can't put any weight on the other leg. And so it shouldn't be done as like, hey, watch me do a trick. It should be done as like of last resort. I have to like, and also you wouldn't kip up if you had a bad knee. You would get up. You would figure out a way to you're not kipping up to do a thing after you kip up and then stand there like, look what I did. And then you go and do something else. So there's no reason to kip up. If you have to kip up to like you're doing a taunt, that's fine if you have good legs. But if you have one bad leg, you would try and protect it at all costs. And so her in this thing is a little bit of, oh, my knee, I have to be helped to the back. And Cyclops saying that she just had to rub some dirt on it. I think just had to rub some dirt on it, and then she's fine. Walk it off. You'll be okay. And that's if it's bad enough that you have to be helped to the back by two trainers.
It's bad enough that when it's your plant leg, you have to. You know what I'm saying?
Then when you get back to the ring, you have to really alter the way you move around the ring because of that. Otherwise, don't do the first spot. If you're not going to play up that bad leg while you're wrestling, don't do the spot where, oh my God, I can't possibly walk on my own, because then it belies all the stuff you do later.
It's so funny because what I mentioned in the opening match about wrestling with every cell in your body and what we're talking about now, not only is there like a commonality there, but it's so funny that this is HBK's product, because I think that's one of the things he was best at. So they're in the hands of the right person to learn that stuff, because he was the guy that when he's getting tossed over the ropes at a Royal Rumble, he's like, no, like I appreciate that stuff as a performer. Like, obviously the way he would sell is what people talk about too. So like they're with the right person to bring those things out of them. And kind of what you were saying is, and I also understand this is a high degree of difficulty thing that you're being given. It is also a gift, because it is something that like she has to overcome in the match. It's in match adversity rather than the adversity story. So she's very impressive and she's very, very, very good. But from her, I was looking for a little bit more with that. And a little bit more trepidation about Zarya's here, right? She had her face paint on. There's no way she's not here. Like, she should have had eyes out a little more.
I mean, if it ends up she gets turned on by Zarya, then I'm sorry, she can't possibly see it coming, because she's a dumb baby face.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's the problem, unfortunately. I think we all agree that she just needs to do some soul searching. Says Greg. Yeah.
Well done, Greg. Couple other minor things in this. This was overall really great. But there was a spot where it was like Jordynne Grace was in the penalty box for 10 more seconds. And instead of going for a pin, Kelani went for like her third rope move in a row. And I'm like, don't go for the pin before the most intimidating person in the match comes back in. Like, you don't need to do another maneuver from the top rope. So just, there were little spots like that that are inevitable, I feel like, in a match like this. I don't hate the decision of having Kendal to win, and I really liked the way that it was filmed, because it was like we didn't see her come out of the penalty box either because there was so much going on. So her just like being there and then, oh my gosh, was something they haven't done. The only thing I'll say with this is, in the greater context of NXT, sometimes like these shock wins start to lose their value when you keep doing it, and it starts to feel like the Wild Wild West, right? Like JC's first title win, nobody thought she was beating Steph. She didn't have a bunch of wins going into it. That was out of nowhere. Myles Borne was an out of nowhere win, served him extremely well. Tatum Paxley, more recently, was out of nowhere win, right? So I don't want them to be over reliant on that as a way to keep the product interesting. Also write great things that keep your product interesting, so it's not such a crutch. But I think, man, Kendal is so impressive. She was in there from the very beginning to the end to win this thing. The sky's the limit for her. So I like seeing her prioritized. But the big thing is, to me, and you hit the nail on the head before, is just like, if Jordynne just shouldn't have been in this. I know it's Kelani's dance partner, but that story has been weird from the beginning, because she was fighting for a title she left the company to have, and now Kelani doesn't even have it anymore, so who cares? I'm bewildered as to why she's down here in the first place when SmackDown could use someone like her so badly. But and
the problem is that they don't have a mid-card title. They do, but they don't. The same thing on Raw. They have a mid-card title, but they don't. Because they've decided not to actually use them as such. We'll see what happens with Maxine and low-key legend Natty. Because that has the potential to be something really interesting. Of course, they'll mess it up because they always do. But on SmackDown, there isn't one. There's an accessory that Chelsea Green wears to the ring. Yeah. But that's not a mid-card title. Make no mistake. They're not booking it as such. Like, it'd be great if they said, Jordynne Grace, you're going to show up on the SmackDown after Mania. I know it sucks it's going to take so long, but we suck at this. And then Chelsea Green is going to do an open challenge. It's going to be Jordynne Grace. Jordynne Grace is going to beat Chelsea Green in 45 seconds. And then we're off to the races. Jordynne Grace is going to have matches the way that Ilya Dragunov has matches. And great, awesome. They should do that. I don't think they're going to do it because they're bad at this. Like, I would love that for that to be the case, but they're not booking Jordynne Grace the way Jordynne Grace. They booked Jordynne Grace stronger when she was still signed to TNA.
Yep. Alex, this is what makes me nervous about it. And this is something I got to say that Shawn Michaels seems to understand much more than Triple H, assuming that those are the powers that be running the things. Okay. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's Road Dogg. I don't know. But the one thing I will say is, when we had Julia, Steph, Roxanne, etc. around NXT, Shawn Michaels seemed to have a real understanding that the way to get them over is to have them wrestle a bunch.
Yep.
And they immediately lost that on the main roster with Julia, to the point they're doing this Kiana James bullshit that I can't even get into. I'll get so mad about that. But the thing that makes me nervous is the way to get Jordynne over is to have her wrestle and beat the crap out of girls. And I'm nervous that, like, all the shit that they did in storyline with Blake Monroe feels like it's very real on the SmackDown and Raw rosters right now, of like, if you don't look a certain way, if you don't promo a certain way as a woman, like, you don't get to succeed up there. And the way Jordynne Grace gets over is by being a world beater, by being an ass kicker, running through like smaller girls, like, and I'm really, really, really nervous that they're just going to waste what's special about her by trying to put her in a box that she doesn't belong in. And if that's the case, send Julia back down here so we can have a 6-month feud between Jordynne Grace and Julia. Because if that's your women's match of the year, no argument from me. None. Let them wrestle. Yeah. That's how you get her over. It's simple. Other
Yeah.
than that, a really well put together match, honestly.
Ryan Giggini is saying the 2026 Sean's Ace Kendal or the TV star Ren. Yes.
They gave to the Ren
Then
QCC.
Ryan saying that Kendall take about 25 minutes in a day of PLE. Smart
Jeez,
to put her in
yeah.
the box for 6 of the minutes. I like that they saved the spot heavy stuff until Soul got in. First 15 minutes were frantic. Okay, so here's where I say things that seem contradictory. I love Kendall Gray. I think she's got an amazing future in this business. She's got stuff that almost no other women have that I recognize. Like, she's the amateur wrestling background of Kendall Gray makes her so special. And you can see all of that in all the stuff that she does. I really like watching her wrestle. She absolutely should not have won this.
Okay.
What is Evolve? Is it its own thing? Or is it like just part of NXT? Because they ran vignettes for 2 people on the Evolve roster that I have never heard of before, but then showed highlights in their vignettes of them wrestling several matches. So if the rosters are like, if only 4 people on the Evolve roster are even known by people who watch NXT literally every week, if they're that separate, then the champion of Evolve should be the champion of Evolve. And listen, everyone talked about how great Callie Armstrong was when she was the champion of Evolve. She rarely even sniffed being on television as part of NXT. Then she lost the title to Kendall Gray. And Kendall Gray is now a regular on NXT, and there's no sight of Callie Armstrong. Which seems wrong. Like, if you're like, Callie Armstrong loses the title and gets called up to NXT, that makes sense. And then the person who's the champion in Evolve, they're on Evolve. And then when Kendall Gray loses the title to whomever, Kendall Gray comes up, and then you can do stuff with them. I don't think we should be doing Evolve champion faces NXT champion, men or women. I don't think that's a thing you should be doing. I think you should keep those brands separate, because otherwise it's too muddy. And my thing for this also is, I don't think there's a chance that JC Jane loses to the Evolve Women's Champion. So now the match at New Year's Evil is a foregone conclusion, which is bad. Like, you could have easily figured out a way to, like, done something with the Iron Survivor winner so that they can go on to face JC Jane. And we've seen they have no problem taking the title off of JC Jane for a month.
Sure.
So, but they're not putting it on Kendall Gray. So if she wasn't the champion right now, I'd be all for it. But if it's because she is, I just think it's bad timing.
Counterpoint. We have SP3 sweeping in. Saying Evolve is the best weekly TV show in this damn company. And Kendall Gray is the illegitimate daughter of Kurt Angle. Gray will become Ultimo Gray. So he wants 13 titles for her, or 14, I guess, at this point, because we gotta beat him up. Check out the ROH review with SP3 and Phil from yesterday if you haven't already. What I would like, Alex, and this is in half agreement with you. I would like consistency of if you're an Evolved champion, you're automatically one spot in the Iron Survivor match belongs to you because you're the champion of that brand. Not John Cena took a break from his Honda commercials to pick you. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me something like that, and I'm in with you. I understand what you're saying, though. Kendall is great. It's not even being against the push, but the context in which you do it is important, right? So I understand what you're saying. That's not as contradictory as you
It is.
as you led it to believe.
I said in the Discord, people talking about how good Evolve is actually a fun show, and I said this, and it's true. You'd have to waterboard me to get me to watch that show. I watch so much wrestling. Like, there's no way I'm watching the single A ball of WWE. I'm just not doing it. You're never gonna get me to watch it.
Well, first of all, SP3 is an unbelievable sicko, and I don't mean like AEW sicko. I mean he
I mean, yeah, no, I get
watches
that.
more wrestling than probably anybody I know.
Yeah.
I'm in the same group, but what's funny is like people that have told me I should watch Evolve are like, yeah, because it's wrestlers wrestling. Like that, like it's people with wrestling experience on a wrestling show. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I understand why you think it would be an attraction for me personally.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm just Alex, I'm very tired.
Yeah. You know what? Like, somebody put together a 2-minute highlight package of each weekly episode, and then
It's
I'll
called
watch
the
that.
C-suite, and it's not a clips, but it's done on In the Weeds with SP3.
I don't want a review of it. I want to see the big spots.
Well, you know what, Alex?
Mm-hmm.
If you want a 2-minute clip compilation, that's fine. But some people want something that lasts longer than 2 minutes. Some people need a little help and want something that's going to go, I don't know, an hour would be outstanding results. But anyway.
Have better sex with Blue Chew. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. These erection-enhancing tablets help men achieve stronger, longer, harder erections for sexual activities. Be ready when she needs it and get your first month at Blue Chew free. Great sex is just a few clicks away. Sign up at BlueChew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Blue Chew tablets are made in the USA and shipped directly to your door. It's all online, no awkward in-person doctor's visits or pharmacy visits. Blue Chew won't stop till every man is bricked up like a brick house. And no little piggy is going to, well, I guess it's the big bad wolf that blows it down. Wolf, beaver, whatever. It ain't getting blown down. Something else will get blown. Make life easier by getting harder and discovering your options at BlueChew.com. We've got a special deal for our listeners. Try your first month of Blue Chew free when you use the promo code FIGHTFUL. Just pay $5 shipping. That's promo code FIGHTFUL. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring our podcast.
My segues are so good, they're making money, Alex. They make you put your head in your hands. And you might be thinking like, oh, Alex puts his head in his hands in a somewhat performative manner. And then when the ad starts, he takes his head out of his hands. That's not the case with this last one. He just was for like a good extra 20 seconds. And then Sean's read started and that got perverted. And Alex just... He's dressed as Santa and he's working with a bunch of perverts out here.
You're all on the naughty list.
No, I don't want coal. I want money.
So then JC Jane comes out to stare at Kendal. And I do think that match will be, yeah, she comes out with her 2-inch waist and she stares, she's like, at Kendal. And I do think that match will be very good.
Yes.
So I just... Kendall Gray having a great match with JC Jane that she loses because Fallon Henley kicks Ren Sinclair and Kendall's like, what? And then turns around to get elbowed in the face. Like, I don't care how great the match is up until that inevitable finish. That inevitable finish means to me you don't do that match. You know? Yes?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's a chance? And it's very important everyone understands. I have no idea what Evolve's taping schedule is. They could be taped till March for all I know.
That's true.
Do you think there's a chance that Kendall drops that title between now and New Year's Evil? And that's when the Fatal Sisters get fatal?
Sure. I mean, I guess you know what also is possible. She could win the title from JC Jane, and then Robert Stone, who's now the general manager of Evolve, says you're going to have to vacate that title, and then they'll just do that because they've shown they'll do that. You have to vacate the lesser of the two titles. Like they might just do that too. They could do a lot of stuff. They've I guess to their credit, they're less predictable.
You go to the question mark. You said to their credit.
To their credit, they're less predictable. But some of the reasons that they're less predictable is because they're willing to do absolutely batshit insane stuff.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, and we'll talk about the results of the continuation of that. Like, it was batshit insane to, in a town where 3,000 people live, do Halloween Havoc and have Tatum Paxley win the title from JC Jane there, and then never defend it successfully, and then lose it back to JC Jane in a rematch because Izzi Dame decided apparently during the match that she wanted to take out Tatum Paxley.
Alex, you know what's
That's
even more
insane? It's not predictable, but like, you know what I mean? Like the Joker isn't predictable because he's crazy. Like the Batman can't predict what he's gonna do because he's crazy. And like that's basically Hickenbottom with me. I can't predict what Hickenbottom is gonna do because he's crazy. You know,
which means you're destined to do this dance forever, Alex.
We're destined to do this dance forever.
You know what's even crazier than what you just said?
What?
Having Halloween Havoc and not spinning the damn wheel or making any damn deals.
Do it the damn Tuesday after. It was nuts.
Look, these segues and these reads, you got your head in your hands, but Cyclops saying, tired of having that dang on nosy mailman all up in my biz. Not with Blue Chew and the code Fightful, my friend.
Ryan Adams also speculating that Zarya is going to steal the match against Bayley after turning on Soul, isn't she? Certainly possible.
It would be very true to WWE form to have all of the future stars matches end with interferences.
Mm-hmm.
You got to develop them for the main roster. You know, what are they getting ready for?
That's right. They have to know what's coming for them.
A life of interference.
Greg Cherry says, it's the Iron Survivor. It's the thrill of the fight, rising up to 5 challengers' arrivals.
Nailed it.
So, Kate, I told you ahead of time that
you did.
I would not be watching this match between Ethan Page and Mr. Iguana because I would have things to do with my daughter, and I did not. I saw that Ethan Page won.
I will take over duties.
Alrighty.
This was actually, for what it was, about as good as it was gonna get. Like, in my notes here, I have like it was almost too much of a match for the crowd because they were sitting around waiting for the puppet the whole time, and I just can't imagine wrestling a match or doing anything really where you would just use a puppet for like a cheap pop. You know what I mean? I could never imagine.
No, nobody would do it.
Such a thing where like you would just bring in a puppet to spike ratings, to make money. Like I can't even imagine a world. Like I would certainly never lower my integrity to do something so goofy. What, for a bit? Bit?
No.
Never. Not me. Couldn't be me. But what was like, man, I watched Ethan Page as a face on ROH and he was very good. He is a great heel. Like there were parts where like Mr. Iguana went to get Layeska out of the corner and like went to drop it, and Ethan Page just plants him. Like just these little things of like, oh, that's cute. I'm going to be vicious as a response to you. Is such good heel stuff that like at points the crowd didn't really react to because they're just waiting around for Layeska, but they get it. And that spot went over well. This was also kind of fun because I feel like Mr. Iguana was moving like a lizard, maybe more than we usually see. Like it was, he just seemed more in the character too. I think because he had a very typical heel to work against, like it, which was nice to see. Like his actual movements were lizardier, I feel like, than normal.
Yeah. I did get a chance to watch the first like 2 minutes. So I did get a chance to watch Mr. Iguana play dead, and Ethan Page get to do slapstick comedy with a guy laying on his back with all 4 limbs in the air, and I was like, too bad I don't get to watch the rest of this.
No, but the rest of it, like it did, like I said, it was like more of a match than the crowd wanted at some points, but like there was Mr. Iguana did his rope walk spot, and Ethan Page just like I love when heels just do stuff to hurt their opponent. Like it sounds so simple, but like he just scoop slammed him, and then when he put him down, he scoop slammed him like 3 more times because Ethan Page was getting pissed that this goofball was getting anything in on him, and was just in the same way heels respond to like an Orange Cassidy. Like this guy was just getting under his skin, and Ethan's really good at like, let me just snap off a move for the sake of inflicting pain and being vicious. Like that was really good. But the big spot was Ethan Page spits on Leyeska and he throws him in to up the ramp. There was also just funny because in this match, Mr. Iguana's green body paint, face paint, was just rubbing off on Ethan Page. So it slowly started to look like Ethan Page was turning into the Hulk. Smart psychology spot was you got a Hurricane Rana to Ethan off of in the corner, and Ethan Page just rolls out of the ring because he has good ring awareness and is the champion. So if he gets counted out, he keeps titles. So like very textbook stuff, but I'm always impressed by Ethan Page won with the twisted grin. It was well done. Like it's so tricky because like as the performer, you have to treat the situation like it's serious. And like I felt like Ethan Page did a really good job of that. And I felt like Mr. Iguana having someone that's like not in Lucha World to work against was like good for him. Like I think it worked to have like a more traditional Canadian American heel to work off of. Like I think it actually showcased what he can do a lot better. So this was like, I think the best case scenario that you were going to get out of this match. It was more of a wrestling match than I think some of the other Mr. Iguana appearances we got, which in some ways threw off the crowd. But I really, really liked it a lot. My Duolingo just woke me up. Sorry. Let me turn that off.
Yeah. No, I mean, there was no danger of Ethan Page losing his title in this match. And so it was a thing they did to throw some comedy on the card. Earlier today, Blake Monroe said that she would be at the show, which has meant I'm going to have a backstage segment with Ava where I decide I want to have open challenges. And Ava's like, you want to defend your title? That's not like you. Are you feeling okay? And Mariah's like, no, I do. I want to have open challenges. And Ava's like, you do realize that means that anybody can answer the challenge, right? And Blake's like, yeah, sure. So Nia Jax, who's the crazy person who like out of left field answers Blake's challenge? Like, is it just somebody, you know who it is? Is it the giant lady from LFG? Who's a person that Blake could still beat that Blake would be like, wait, I didn't mean this person, because that's what they are implying. That's what the implications are from this particular backstage segment.
Is it her other half?
She faces herself.
She gonna wrestle herself.
Herself.
When I rewatched that, by the way, I was like, oh, this is an extremely. I was like, oh, it's Mariah May. Like that was the other half when I rewatched it. Mm-hmm. Probably her, unless is this going to be something that's at Saturday night's main event? Like, is this going to be?
No, she's doing it on Tuesday. It's probably going to be Jordynne Grace, and then Kalani costs Jordynne Grace the match.
Oh, barf.
right? I mean, isn't that the way it works? That's the thing they're gonna do. Yeah. Um. I forgot to mention also they did a little follow up interview with Kendal Gray, like, hey, I can't believe you won, hooray, good for you, blah blah blah. And then Sol Ruca shows up and says, yeah, good for you, happy you won. But of course, if I wasn't injured, I would have won. And then Ren Sinclair's like, hey, you can't say that about Kendal. She did so great, and she's the winner and everything like that. And then I'm sorry, what's going on with Zarya, but you don't take it out on blah 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 blah. And then she says, oh, your friend Zarya speed her out of her boots on Tuesday, and she still won today, so that's just an excuse. And then Sol was nice about it. Like her tone of voice was nice, but then she basically challenged Ren to a match for Tuesday and said, I'm going to kick your ass because I stand up for my friend. So it's still possible that Sol is the bad guy here because of her weird tone with Ren in this particular moment. So there's also that coming out of this as well.
Yeah, I'm not.
Oh, Jordynne's facing Kelani on Tuesday, so she can't.
So it's not her.
Face Kelani next Tuesday, the following Tuesday, after Kelani interrupts this match with. So it doesn't really matter.
Maybe Jada Parker.
Whatever. Could be.
That'd be like a good return spot for her. She's got to be in something valuable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so that's it, right? That's all the stuff, and then we get back into the Iron Survivors again.
Yes.
No. We haven't talked about Izzy Dame.
Oh my gosh, Izzy and Taters.
Izzy and Taters.
What am I saying?
Taters is too good for this place. Tatum comes to the ring. She's got the running mascara. She looks a fright. She is not all right up in the head right now. There's this weird intimidation tactic that Sean Spears and Nico Vance do, where they walk slowly past her very intimidatingly, like she's afraid they're going to kick her ass. And then Izzy Dame tries to get the jump on her, but then like offers her a hug, and Tatum like goes up to her, and Izzy caresses her face, and Tatum starts crying with this big smile on her face, like wanting this to be real. And Izzy like looks to the camera like, she's so stupid. She's actually gonna fall for it. And then Tatum looks up at her her eyes go white, and she's like, no, I can't. I'm not falling for this. And then she does this really cool like front flip leg drop across her back as she's doubled
really
over.
Cool move.
And then Izzy rolls to the outside, and I was like, yeah, Tatum, show her you're not gullible. And then she follows Izzy to the outside, and then Izzy tries the exact same thing again that she tried before a minute earlier that Tatum saw through. But this time, the second time, Tatum falls for it. Wouldn't that be reversed? Where Tatum falls for it the first time,
and
then says, oh, no, fool me once, shame on me. You know what I mean? Fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, then we're won't get fooled again. Like why would it not work the first time, but then Tatum falls for it the second time? I know she's Delulu. I know she's not right in the head right now. She's obviously gone through some stuff. But that makes Tatum look worse. That she saw through it the first time, and then a minute later, the same tactic is tried by Izzy, and Tatum fully falls for it, and then Izzy beats her up a bunch. I'm like, come on.
There's kind of two schools of thought on that. One, I think not only does it make Tatum look bad, it also makes Izzy look bad. Why would you go for the same move that didn't work? But at the same time, sometimes you throw a fastball twice and you get different results, right? But I feel like part of it was
True.
like how close in the match it happened to each other.
Yeah,
Like if you did
yeah.
it in the beginning, you do it in different at bats, right? Like
Yeah,
that's the
no,
idea.
true.
So I'm with you there. I really just do think the world of Tatum Paxley's work and Izzy's great too. I know, like, I joke
really,
around about being a tater tot, but boy, has she grown into something special.
she really killed it with the character performance in this match, which is why I hated that beginning, seeing through it, then falling for it. And then there was a whole bunch of stuff where she really engendered genuine pathos and trying to fight back against her former friend, and kept getting her ass kicked or whatever. And she kept coming back, and there was this really good spot where she got pie faced and then turned around and was ready to fight again. That was all great. And then they did the finish, which sucked worse than the beginning.
Yeah, she's one of the best they have at eliciting empathy.
Yeah.
Or sympathy, more accurately. Like, you do just kind of like, or at least I do. That's probably why I like her work so much. Like, I immediately get in the boat with her. Like, she's so effective at that. And for how challenging of a character it is to, like, they don't have a lot of people that can do that anyway, I feel like. And then to be able to do that with such a complicated character, I think is pretty special. Call her up, pair her with Nikki Cross, have them do things in the tag division, and treat the tag division well. That's all.
She the way the match ends is that she gets on the outside and she does her cemetery drive to Izzy on the table, on the announce table, which does not break. So
No,
it was
it's
really
not.
vicious. Like doing that move on a table that hard, that should be the end of it for Izzy Dame. But Izzy rolls off the table and ends up crawling back into the ring as Tatum tries to walk past Shawn Spears to get in the match. And then he presents Tatum with two Barbie dolls, one of them blonde, which I would assume represents Izzy, and the other dark-haired, pale-skinned, which I would assume represents Tatum. And he shows them to Tatum, who looks at the Barbie dolls and then looks at Shawn Spears and then back to the Barbie dolls. And she does that for a while because she was scripted to do so. And then Shawn reaches over and yanks the head off of the dark-haired, pallid-skinned Barbie doll, representing, I suppose, decapitating Tatum Paxley for some reason. And then Tatum Paxley shoves past him and slides into the ring, which he immediately gets big booted and sky-high'd like a big giant power bomb and pinned. So you had Izzy right where you wanted her. You did your finisher to her on the table. She was done. And yet you got waylaid by Ty Dillinger with a couple of Barbie dolls for a minute and a half. And then you pushed past him and you immediately lost. Push past him before you waited around for the Barbie doll shtick, and you would have won the match. But she has to lose the match because she's got to face adversity. I don't know.
Like a pretty classic NXT, just over engineering things, I think. I guess you don't want people out there to do nothing, but like this is more of anything a main roster complaint I have because they're so interference heavy and because I review SmackDown. Like when you add stuff in, sometimes there's a point of diminishing returns where it feels like the fight's not between the two people who it's supposed to be between. And I actually feel like it would have been more effective for Izzy Dame if she did it on her own. She was like, I appreciate the hell out of you guys, and I might regret this, but like, this is between me and her right now, or whatever. Like, there's so many things that happen in WWE right now that dilute the animosity instead of enhance it.
Mhm.
And I don't think that was the spot to play the mind games in.
Yeah. So she lost, and I guess we'll do this again. I cannot tell you how much better everything would feel to me if we got that scene I
for the
was
title?
wanting, where Izzy, well, if that was for the title, I suppose, or we get the scene where Izzy talks to JC Jane and says, "Okay, I want what you
Yes.
promised me. I
Sure.
want what we talked about. I cost Tatum the title and put it back on you. I get the title shot." And like if we had done that, like all this makes Izzy seem so much smarter than, like, I intentionally placed myself further away from the title than I was before, and it would make Tatum look somehow better in all of this, because it wasn't like I didn't respond to my friend telling me to not wrestle, but it was more
Right.
like my friend deliberately sold me out. Which,
Right.
how would I expect that? That's different. Anyway, the other thing about it is that, remember, we talked about how Tatum hadn't won a singles match since
Yes.
2020, whatever, and then she beat JC Jane, and then I believe in that match with Lola Vice, it didn't have a finish, so she did not successfully defend her title
She still
against
hasn't
Lola
won a
Vice.
singles match.
And then she had the next match she had was against JC Jane that she lost.
Lost.
So she has still only won one singles match in 2 years, basically. And it was the title, it was the match she won the title in.
It's kind of what I said at the beginning of the show, that it felt like the performers went out of their way to make it feel like the title was so important. Like they were fighting for that thing. It's like you robbed these talent of the opportunity to do that with your creative. Like give Izzy and Tater the chance to be fighting for the thing that led to this feud in the first place.
Yeah.
Give them that. Because Alex, you know what? With these titles,
Yeah.
they're supposed to be the prize. They're supposed to be where all of the aura comes from.
Right.
And I don't know how you're supposed to frame these feuds if you're going to take aura away, because in my experience, Alex, you want aura frames. You know what I'm saying? For your stories?
Right. Mm-hmm.
I know I want them for my personal stories. That's why I would get a frame where I could upload all the photos that I want, as long as I had the Aura Frames app downloaded and was on Wi-Fi. I could share photos and videos effortlessly straight from my phone all year long, Alex, if this was the case. And that's just what you get when you use the code FIGHTFUL at auraframes.com. They are sponsoring every show this month, which is just an incredible investment in us, and we appreciate it so much. It genuinely does make a fantastic holiday gift. The gift box is included if you're looking for something effortless to kind of deliver outside of uploading those pictures. It's a really nice way to personalize something with a really streamlined and easygoing process. And for a limited time, you can go to auraframes.com and get $35 off the best-selling Carver mat frames, named number 1 by Wirecutter. It's not just us saying it. Wirecutter's saying it too, by using the promo code FIGHTFUL at checkout. That's Aura Frames, AURA frames.com. Promo code FIGHTFUL. This deal is exclusive to Fightful listeners, and frames sell out quick. So order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout, and quite frankly, $35 is a pretty chunk of change on a nice Christmas gift. So Sean got one for his family, and he's loving it, and he loves this idea. I don't know why you would trust what Sean says, but in this case, I would. You can trust him for wrestling news. You can trust him for Aura Frames. You can't trust him for what is and isn't a Christmas movie, because this guy's out here calling Toy Story a Christmas movie. But you can trust his advice on wrestling news and gifts. We'll give Sean that. But Auraframes.com. Sincerely, a fantastic investment in us. And as people on the receiving end of Christmas bonuses this month, we appreciate them. But get yourself one today.
Cyclops says, "Here's more money. Please say that's right, mailman."
I feel like I'm being set up for something.
Mm.
That's right, mailman.
There you go.
Stay out of Cyclops' business,
That's
mailman.
right. Yeah. So there was another Shiloh Hill promo, but he didn't talk about the fog. So 0 out of 10.
So what's the point?
What's the what? Listen, I don't care about you. I don't care about how you chasing a squirrel somehow led to you being a football player. I care about the fog and when it rolls in and partially snowmobiles. Listen, man. Get to the point of the fog. Squirrels? No. Football? Couldn't care less. Fog. Where is the fog, Shiloh?
The thing is, Alex, with the squirrels, a lot of people still find that stuff interesting, but I know what the squirrel is. It's a squirrel. I've seen them. There's some right outside. My dog barks at them. It's great. The fog? What are we talking about? Because it's not regular fog.
Listen, if the story was, I remember all the times my parents woke me up in the middle of the night and told me we had to move because the squirrels were moving in. I would want to know more about the squirrels, but no, you said the fog. Okay. And so like, I feel like the squirrel you chased in order to become a football star was a regular squirrel and not something supernatural. The fog seems supernatural. Please tell me more about the fog. 3 letters, one word, fog.
Honest, I swear, Alex, they could have a pre-recorded vignette to reveal what the frog is next week, and I think we're gonna be like, let's keep this going for 6 months just to drive this lunatic into Santa hat mad. I really feel like
it is revealed at the end that Shiloh has not been talking to us, the audience, but to an AI program that is now found. Like, he has talked to something that then uses all of the information he has given it to create a profile of him to decide whether or not he's ready to make his debut on NXT. And Ryan Giacchini says, I believe Shiloh was talking to the Beast. I don't know, but he's talking to some kind of AI program, which is, yes, thank you for all of the information you have given us about yourself, Shiloh Hill. Processing. It is time to make your NXT debut next Tuesday. All right. What's going on? Come on.
his entrance needs to have fog in it. Is the fog a reference to join the John Carpenter's movie, The Fog?
I don't know. I don't know what the fog is.
The Fog is the new Veer Mahan coming soon.
Somebody was somebody sent me a message saying that they think it might be a reference to Mel Torme, The Velvet Fog.
Oh, there you go. Okay. He's like a huge Rat Pack guy.
Mm-hmm. He's big into crooners.
I want him to have a faction.
Shiloh Hill is real big into crooners.
I want him to have a faction called The Fog.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, if you his Def Rebel theme would start with, if you can't beat it, join them.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't beat the fog.
Yeah.
Do we think it's the big fog industry taking over? See, there's so many questions.
Yeah.
WTF with the fog.
Also, I don't know why he has to tell the AI model about that he can't remember where he left his bleach. Like, why does the AI model need to know where you can't remember where you left your bleach? I don't understand.
Is the bleach involved in making the fog? Because if not, I don't care.
I mean, maybe. Also, don't stand around inhaling the fog. If it's
It
like
might explain
vaporized
some things
bleach,
about
that's bad for you. So don't do that. So there's a couple of things here. Dion talking to the rest of Dork State.
Yep.
And he's ready to go to the ring, and Oba walks up to him and says, "Well, I upheld my end of the bargain. Now it's time to see if you can uphold yours." And like this is great, and he's like he's basically says, "I look forward to seeing if you do." You know what I mean? Like there's part of the big long, because they, again, the only guy they had a really long, they talked to Myles Borne very briefly, where he said, I've decided that by virtue of winning this match, I've decided to come in third, giving me no advantage whatsoever. But that was all that they did with Myles Borne. Javon had a little scene.
Completely blanked on that. You're right.
He says, well, there's two schools of thought. You know what I mean? Do you want to come in first or second, giving yourself the most amount of time to gain pinfalls, but then you're going to fade near the end because you're tired? Or do you want to come in at the end and you're fresh, but you've only got 10 minutes and you don't know how far in the hole you're going to be? So I've decided to do nothing and come in after only 5 minutes, which means the guys who came in before me won't be tired, and I won't be able to get pinfalls on them very easily. But also, by the time that the fifth guy comes in, I'm going to be winded. It's a perfect fail-safe plan.
It's a perfect fail-safe plan. This is like if you do like a fantasy draft.
Yeah.
And it's like, say it's like 12 guys, and you get number 6. And they're like, oh, but it's a snake draft, so it's awesome because the number 1 guy gets the first pick. But if you're number 12, you get 12 and 13. But like you're number 6, so you don't get the advantage in either direction.
You just get the middle every time.
Yeah, yep. It just he did that to himself.
Best. He did.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, so they mentioned that, and then Javon Evans has a moment with Ricky where Ricky is now fully doubting himself because he did in fact lose to Oba. But Javon says, hey, don't worry about it. I'm going to go out and I'm going to win the Iron Survivor, and then I'm going to beat Oba, and then you can have a match with me for the title. And Ricky's like, okay, that sounds like a good plan. That's a better plan than Myles Borne's plan. But anyway, the really long thing that they did was they talked to Dion Lennox. Like, he was at a very long interview, one-on-one with some guy. And he was talking about that moment where he said to Oba, hey, maybe one day I'll challenge you for that title. And Oba didn't say, ha, 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 that will never happen. He just goes, maybe. And he walked on. But that really pissed off Dion Lennox, and it really stuck with him. And so tonight, Oba, after winning, comes and says, let's see what you do. Go out there and win, and I hope you do, because I'd like to beat you. And Dion says, I'm gonna kick your ass. And so the match, the Iron Survivor. Well, hold on. Here we go. Cyclops saying this show made me take Dion seriously. Great stuff. And Josh says, it feels to me like we're watching in real time Dark State wiping the Dork State stink away, and they're going in transition of an acceptable force. I think that Dion is proving that his ceiling is a lot higher than I thought it was. Until they elevate Saquon Sugars to the position of leader of the faction and make him one of the most important members of the TV roster, I won't say that Dark State is no longer Dork State, because they still have Cutler in the ranks, and that drops the average considerably. And Osiris is a very promising big man, but no more than that. So you have to really do something with them to do it. I think that Dion's ceiling got raised tonight. I don't know if he'll ever actually get to that point, but I saw some flashes in this that made me think maybe he's going to be better than I thought he was going to be.
I think the real elephant in the room here, Alex, is that like it's an incredibly convenient nickname, Dork State.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like even about
Right.
how much they progress. No. It's just like it's
Mm-hmm.
right there. So that makes it tricky because it's one letter away, and it's a very like 6th to 7th grade insult. So it's more about that than it is about the guys.
It's about the convenience. It's about the convenience of the insulting nickname.
Like, I have to do this much work to make that happen.
Sure.
No, I would say like this was a really great performance for him. I think it was a productive use, and I like the swerve when they drove the storyline through the show. Like I dug that a lot, and I want to see more sensical red herrings than we get. Like I like that a lot. I feel like Osiris Griffin might be the one who has the furthest road ahead of him as far as like what we've seen in ring so far, but that's also what we've seen in ring so far. And I think he has incredible upside in other ways. So like if that can progress along with him, that could be really cool. And I gotta say with this faction, like so much of this is not about the guys involved. So much of this is about the way they've been booked. And treated, and the direction that left turn they took with Cutler was like very, very weird. So the Dork State thing isn't a reflection on their talent, as so many of our nicknames are not. Like a lot of it is on the way that they've been presented by creative and the wild inconsistencies with which they were turning left and right with them. Like it's been a lot of the execution and follow through more than the guys that are involved. So we'll see what's to come. But today I think was a really big step forward for Dion Lennox, which I like to see.
I did think it was very funny that he relinquished the tag team titles to go on a singles run that ended tonight. Like he didn't need to relinquish the tag team titles
at all.
Like if he had won the Iron Survivor, maybe then you do it. But now it's like, hey, Saquon, could I maybe this is awkward. Could I maybe have the title belt back and be the tag team champ again? Maybe.
He should just say yes and be like, sure, have at it, kid.
He should. Anyway.
They don't care about these things anyway, so why should I? Like, have it back. Whoop-de-doo.
The match started with Leon Slater and Javon. And these guys are very good, and I fully anticipate them to somehow convince Leon Slater to wrestle for this company in a long-term contract soon. And they're pulling out all the stops to make him feel wanted. You know what I mean? That's the thing, is that, we'll see how wanted he feels 2 years after he signs with the company, because they sometimes lose interest. But he's very, very good, and so is Javon, and they had a lot of fun for 5 minutes. And then Myles Borne came in. His fail-safe plan worked to perfection. He was the last guy to get a pinfall, I believe. So, and then fourth was Dion Lennox, and then last was Joe Hendry, and I don't know. Like, I still don't get him in this. Like, if they were going to pull a shocker and have him win it, okay, that's why he's in it. But if he's not going to win it, like, he's not doing anything. Like, the last thing he did was have a mixed tag title match with Thea Hale versus Chelsea and Ethan. That's not his.
Honestly, of all the things we were going to be complaining about with Joe Hendry in this match, I didn't think it was going to be the lack of stuff. Like, I thought he was going to be doing way more silly stuff in penalty boxes. Like, I thought he was going to be the guy to eat 3 pins and like do a bunch of crazy stuff in the penalty box. And I thought we were going to get on here and you were going to be like, he was so annoying in the penalty box. And I would have said, yes, I agree. But like the crowd loved it, and it was a different element in the match. But we're not saying
No,
really any of that.
like, no, he was just a
We
guy
have
in the
something
match.
else to complain about.
Yeah, he was just a guy in the match. It didn't feel like they WWE either makes him special for the wrong reasons or makes him not special at all.
Well, Alex, we've had like one hit song that wasn't on the show in the entire time that there's been this crossover. That's the thing to me, is like the thing that made him so over, we don't really get a lot of.
Right.
Feels like. I feel like the program with Thea was more productive, but I also felt like it was a lot of, hey, we're just stalling until your contract's up and you're officially here, right? Like that's what a lot of that felt like.
Yeah. So you'll recall how I mentioned that the women were all tied with 2 falls apiece with 2 minutes to go.
I do recall this, yes.
The men were all tied with 1 fall apiece with 3 minutes to go. I mean, they were actually all tied with 1 fall apiece with 2 minutes to go as well. But I believe the final fall that made it 1-1 came with about 3.5 minutes to go in the match.
Just about.
And it honestly feels like they invent a scenario. And the scenario consists of this. 2 match agents in training are given the same scenario. It's just very brief, and then let's see where they go with it. Because it feels like that's part of the because when you're doing acting class, let's say wrestling class, which is what this is akin to acting class. You will also work with student directors. And sometimes the project is you pull 3 names of 3 actors out of a hat, and those are your actors for this project. And you each have the same basic scene to direct, but it's all the scene is just 4 words, a very small sentence, but you have to come up with a scene around that, and here are your actors to do it. And it really feels like all of the combatants are tied with 3 minutes to go. That's the only direction we're giving you. Now, let's see what happens. And that's what it feels like. It feels like 2 wrestling agents in training both got the same scenario and then tried to figure out how they were going to build around it. Why do you keep doing this? 2 years ago, it was somebody's way behind with the last couple of minutes, and they come back and win. Both of them did. I mean, Trick Williams was egregious, but also the one who won the women's was also behind and came back and won. Last year, I forget what it was, but it was the same. They each had the same thing. Why is it that both the women's and the men's Iron Survivors in the same year also have, both of them, have the same basic scenario? If you did them on opposite years, I wouldn't have noticed.
Sure.
If this year, the women was, one of them's way behind in the last minute and comes back and wins. And the men's this year was, they're all tied with 2 minutes to go. But then you switch them up next year, I wouldn't bat an eye. I wouldn't even notice. But the fact that you make them at the same time, it just feels too obvious that that's what you did. And it was well done. The franticness of everybody trying to score the last pinfall was really well put together. All the guys in the match did the same thing. I just couldn't help but notice that it was the exact same ending, basically, as the one the women did. And you make it that way when you decide that's how you're going to do it. But now that you've done this, where both the men's and the women's Iron Survivor match is decided by a pinfall in the last 3 seconds of the match, when everybody in the entire match was all tied, you're gonna eventually have to do the thing where, oh my God, we're all tied and we ran out of time. What do we do now? The answer is obviously sudden death between everybody who is still tied. However, I'm waiting for next year when when to start the show, the Women's Iron Survivor ends. 25 minutes is up, and we're all tied at 3 pinfalls apiece. What do we do now? And then at the end of the show, the Men's Iron Survivor ends. Time runs out, and we're all tied at 2 pinfalls apiece. What do we do now? Well, we know what we do now because we just saw it 2.5 hours ago. Why do you keep doing the same scenario at the same time? This was great. It was really well done, but it's the same match as the women's. Kendal Gray gets the pinfall with 4 seconds left. Javon Evans gets a pinfall on Myles Borne with 1 second remaining. It's incredibly well put together, but it's the same match twice.
Yeah. And it's tough because they've done actually a very good job of executing what could be a convoluted match since its establishment. I thought these were going to be way more confusing than they were, and they've done a good job of avoiding that. But there are restrictions on stories you can tell. And so when you pair the same ones up every year, it doesn't work. And it also feels like you're diluting the character motivations in the match somehow when you do that, because like, how do I phrase this? Like, I actually think it works really well if you're going to choose to have Kendal Gray be the winner, because she's the Evolved champion, but she's new around these parts, right? So her like sneaky win is good. Javon, been around a bit, faced these guys a bit, maybe should be a little bit more clever on how to pick up some pins. Knows Leon Slater very well, right? Like them getting a couple pins on each other could be a fun in-match story they could tell. So it's like, if you're going to do the same things, it loses the winner's individual journey within those matches. Like, I think it takes away from that a little bit. And to your point, they worked very well. Like, they were very well done. It was a cool pin that Javon scored at the end. There was a good balance of urgency all over this match, which I liked. Like, the pacing of these is better than it has any right to be, considering how tricky of a match it is. And I thought they were both very good tonight. The men's one, I think, even more so. From a pacing standpoint, I liked the women's one better overall, I think. But I think it's more special to be an Iron Survivor when the story of your match is different than the other person's from 2 hours ago, give or take, on the show in either direction. So that's my thing with it.
The last minute was put together really, really well with the frantic nature.
It was.
Not only trying to pin, but having to make sure nobody else got a pinfall on somebody. Like, you have to play
defense all of a sudden.
You have to also play defense. Like, Javon got laid out, and so he was done, laying in the middle of the ring, like waiting for somebody to pin him. But Leon did the 450 swanton onto Javon, and then Joe Hendry picked up Leon, trying to like power bomb him, get him out of the way so that he could stake the pin on Javon. But Leon turned the power bomb into a Hurricane Rana and basically shit canned himself along with Joe Hendry, so they're both out of the ring. Myles wanted to pin. Was it either Myles or Dion trying to pin Javon? And then they ended up the other one pulls the other one out of the ring. Myles slings Dion over the announce table. And then he dives back into the ring and crawling frantically to try to pin Javon before the time limit was up. Javon perfectly used the momentum of frantic Myles Borne because he had a fail-safe plan. To pull him into a crucifix and get a leverage pin on Myles Borne with, again, 1 second left. Was like a really clever way of ending it, and Javon did a great job. And I think Scott George said in the chat that it's so much better for the men's to end this way this time, because last year Javon couldn't get the pin on Oba. Then time ran out.
That's right.
and he
That's
couldn't
right.
do it, which was the way it won. The same thing happened last year with the women. Like Stephanie couldn't get a pin on Julia because time ran out and Julia won. And then later in the night, Javon couldn't get a pinfall on Oba because time ran out and Oba won. They did the exact same thing, both at the same time. Why do you do this? And so because of the way the men's Iron Survivor turned out last year, it's perfect poetry that this year Javon did have time to get the pinfall to win the Iron Survivor this time. That's great. But if you actually have that good bit of synergy, that long-term storytelling year over year for Javon Evans from last year to this year, and you say, we want Javon Evans to get the final pinfall with 4 seconds left, 3 seconds left, then the person who agents the women's match has to come up with an alternate scenario for their match. Otherwise, it looks too samesies.
It does. Well said. Two samesies is correct.
Two samesies.
Two samesies.
So Javon comes to stands up and Oba's music hits. And Oba comes out in street clothes, which just means jeans with no shirt.
Right, of course.
And he says, "We are going to do this again. Huh? Let's do it again." And I just love it that he's like, I already beat you once. I have no problem beating you again. You know what I mean? I love that. It's the way that Oba should be.
100%.
And Javon's standing there like this, and then the lights go out, and I was like, Malachi Black? No. The Titantron plays a figure walking on a bridge, blurry, toward the camera, wearing a big, heavy coat with the collar turned up. You can tell in the silhouette. And I'm like, well, that's a different look for the person we expected. And then the lights come back on. And like at least a 1000 goes by. Long enough that I thought, oh, I guess we'll figure out who that was on Tuesday.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden the crowd goes, you know how like a section of the crowd recognizes somebody has hopped the barricade, but the wrestlers aren't supposed to be allowed to recognize that the crowd is recognizing something, so they'll just stand there. And then all of a sudden, in the spotlight that Javon is standing in, it's Tony D. Tony D hatless. And he is wearing a big, heavy leather, like 3/4 length coat. And the big lapels are all furred and everything. I can't recall. He may have been wearing leather fingerless gloves. He's got a bushy ass beard. Like that's
what I remember
long
too.
Beard. And Javon turns around and goes like, well, hey, welcome back. In the most dumbass babyface thing I think on the entire show was like, Tony D must be here to congratulate me on winning the Iron Survivor. Hello, shake. And he picks him up and spine busters him, and then stares murder eyes at Oba, who has the look of a man who knows this guy has beaten him twice. You'll never see Oba less assured of himself than he was in the moment when he recognized who that guy was. This is
he was vulnerable. He's not a vulnerable guy, and it was really cool.
Me twice. I don't like that. And so I don't know if we get a triple threat out of it at New Year's Evil or what, but obviously Tony D has no problem going through Javon Evans to get what he wants. It's really, I'm really happy Tony D is back. If it looked like they had nothing for him on the main roster, I'm glad he didn't go up, because if they were going to use him, it was going to be as, Tony the Pizza Man. You know what I mean? It was going to be something terrible. And I'm glad that wasn't that. And I'm glad that when he came back, he appears to be different. He also reached into his pocket and put triangles of black fabric all over him. I'm like, people are like, that's his hat. Is it the same hat that Ava poured triangles of
That's
on her
what I
desk?
was. Yeah, that's what I was trying to
Did
figure out
he sneak
too.
into her office and steal back the fabrics out of her trash can? Or is that a much bigger hat than I remember? Because it would not have that much fabric in it. Also, talk about ruining poetry. Tony D left his hat on the ring post the last time he wrestled a match in July. He looked back at it and nodded to himself as if to say, that's over now. Did somebody find that hat and send it to him in the mail? And then he
Did he find a different hat at the bottom of the river?
Like, that's the thing. Did he go out and get a different hat? If so, it has far less sentimental value than the hat he left in the ring. But also, that's a much better ending to that hat's story than to like snuck back. Hey, can I get that back? Thanks. I'm going to cut it up later and use it as a prop. Like, it doesn't feel as good. But I'm really intrigued to see what this new version of Tony D is. It comes.
I trust him.
I trust him for sure. But it is very ironic that it comes directly as Stax has won the international title in TNA and is now like declared war on his future father-in-law. And like, I hope they don't have to cross paths anymore, because like Tony D leaving as a babyface, going away for 4 months and change, and then coming back and now he's a different dude and he's a heel is fine. It's wrestling. But I would love to, and I know Tony D is the kind of guy who would want to do this. What's the thought process there?
Sure.
Like I lost my family. And I had to turn on them. I had to beat them and take them to get them out of my life. And so I spent a long time alone. And I realized that the only person who can look out for yourself is numero uno or whatever. Like, I believe he'd cut a fantastic promo about it. I'm just really intrigued to see. I think I trust this guy more than almost anybody else on the roster currently to make sure that that part of the story is filled in with details and told right to get to this point.
Yeah, we also have a vignette that they owe us an explanation of from when he left. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, like, where that is, we have to find out.
So, you may be wondering what I've been doing this past 3 years. So, it turns out that I was abducted by aliens. And, there was a guy, very tall, large fella. You might know him as Talatanga. He ended up showing up at my restaurant. We talked for a while. I mean, I don't know what it is. Like, what? There's got to be something. He was like, we thought he was dead or kidnapped or taken to the main roster. But also, this version of Tony D absolutely has the potential for, after whatever is going on with Oba ends, to wind up right where I want him. As part of the vision.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
Like they've already done the repackage of him physically. He looks like a completely different dude.
He does look very different.
So like
he's not nearly as cartoonish of a look. Like this is a different guy.
All of a sudden, like maybe this is like a dry run with the new character. To see, maybe it's a 6-week program with Oba. Tony D loses and he goes to the main roster and all of a sudden he's there. And very crucially, he helps Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed get Logan Paul the hell up out of that faction. That's very crucial to this whole pitch.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what this means on both the micro and macro level. Like, what does this mean for the world title picture? And what does this mean for like who is returning Tony D'Angelo? Because he does look completely different. He looks like a more grounded version of himself. This does not look like the guy that was in Chicago in front of the Hudson River at all. Like this is a different animal. And I'm curious about it from how does it play into where we left off?
Mhm.
How does it play in the world title currently? And like you said, is this a dry run for something that could work on the main roster, et cetera, et cetera? And
Cyclops says,
while
"I'm
he's
happy
been
that
out, has
Tony
he
D
heard?
left the Chicago Mafia and the Docks. I am also happy that he left those things."
I think we all are. I think we all are.
We got a few more chats. Matt Reichel says, "Looks like Kendal and Javon getting pushed to the moon in 2026. By the way, Kate made the prettiest bridesmaid."
Thank you so much. I'm in the BWI 500, the Bridesmaids Women International. I talked to Kevin, the editor there. I'm going to do a whole photo shoot. Looking forward to it.
Josh from CT says, "These MFs spitting." Hi.
Josh!
I liked Deadline tonight. It was the best show I've seen in weeks, although Final Battle was good. Vanilla Baby, that's all I got. Thank you.
What I've watched of ROH, I've really liked so far. I really liked Velvet and Mercedes. They've got good chemistry. I'm saving Lee and Nigel for tomorrow because I know I'm gonna want to be like locked in for that.
Sure.
But yeah, Red Velvet's come a very long way, and I am excited to see what's next for this Mercedes downfall. But tonight was a good show. Like I don't it felt like there were key takeaways from most matches, which is
right.
Really the goal of a monthly PLE that's not like a mega significant one.
I mean, they still have the best part about this. They still have this great opportunity now to do the thing that I want them to do, that I've been wanting them to do now for years, is Oba beats Javon.
Yes.
Fairly. Javon gets another shot, let's say at Stand and Deliver, and beats Oba. And Oba goes up Raw after Mania. Like it's a really easy thing to do. You put the title on Oba. I think that you don't do it for a month. You do it for a few months. You put it back on Oba so that he can put over a guy who's going to be there for a bit. The storyline is there. I think that you can do that with Javon. I think you can do maybe the triple threat at maybe that's it. You do the triple threat with Javon and Oba and Tony D at New Year's Evil, and then you have the singles match where Javon beats Oba. You have that within your grasp. We'll just see if they do it wrong. We'll
also see Norma. Javon's been on the main roster more than Oba. You know what I mean? So it's like,
well, it's true, but again, Mark Henry thinks his world title will come in 15 years. So
I think if that's the case, it's going to be an AEW in 5.
In 15 years, my current 8-year-old daughter will have graduated from college by then, but I think it's a good idea. Meet Normus says, "Too much football on for me to care about NXT. Hope it was cromulent. I'll be colliding during the show, waiting for an explanation of Up Dad. Toodles." You mentioned that I was rapping Up Dad stuff, and people were like, "What's Up Dad?" And I said, "Nothing. What's up with you?"
That's exactly what you were looking for.
That's exactly the answer to that. So it's important. So anyway, I think, is that everything? And then we have, no, here we go. Spidey Boy says, "Nothing would make me happier than seeing the Rumble start with Gunther at number 1 and then Oba's music hits."
That is like the long-term deal. Like that's, yeah, I want that.
Also for puns, Hangman Adam front page. let's do our newspaper and journalism news puns.
Sure.
Meet Norma says, "New York ring post, printing press slam, Nola New Orleans Times Picayune. The Times Picayune is now the Times Picayune.
Very well done.
Adam Periodical, baby.
Very nice.
Periodical is very good.
Miss him.
Hangman adverts page. The Paperboy, Ric Flair, X-Pac, read all about it. That's good too. Cyclops, judging his own pun, says, I got a lame pun. Bronson, read all about it. LOL. That's a great pun. Do not prejudge your own puns. Leave that to us. That's a very good pun.
That's an excellent.
I like that.
At least 8.5 out of 10 pun.
Meet Norma says, Editoro Blanco, Daily Beast Mordos, Mercedes Expose, Philadelphia Sun Hard Times, Paige Wyatt 6, Obituary Femi, Bam Bam Below the Fold.
Gotcha. Well done. Bam Bam Below the Fold is very good. Mm-hmm. Especially because it's like, they sneak those in for you.
Mm-hmm. Greg Cherry Brand says, Dear Abigail, Obituary Femi, Comics Foley, VK Wall Street Journal, Toxic Retraction. That's good.
I like that one a lot.
And Kate, you looked stunning as a bridesmaid.
Oh, thank you. They shellacked me enough. I should have come out all right, you know?
Mike Shutt says, Arts and Dragon Leisure section. Dragon Leisure section.
Very nice.
The Hurt Syndicated features. Ethan Pate One Story. William Randolph Ziegler.
Wow.
Imagine if the Hearst family was actually the Ziegler family. William Randolph Ziegler.
I haven't seen them in the same place.
I
haven't seen them in the same place.
It's so funny to me when you think of the people like, oh, the Vanderbilts. You know what I mean? Like, oh, think names that the Rockefellers, names that exude opulence. Well, what if they were the Zieglers? What if they were the Zieglers? That's really, really funny to think of.
That is very fun to think of.
Hold on. Greg Cherry saying that Myles had brain fog.
The fog came for his brain.
The fog was it? Yeah. Chris Pereira says Metafourth Estate and Mick Folio.
Very nice.
Tom LaValle says that I'm fine with anything in Soul's match. Get Aunt Pam to AEW by any means necessary. Let her job like crazy. I want to be able to watch Aunt Pam work. Kate.
Me too.
Sean said something very sad to me on Wednesday. Because I was pitching Mercedes losing all of her belts by, let's say, Double or Nothing time.
Sure.
And somebody showing up, somebody who might want to show up in AEW, helping to lift her out of that funk. And he says, won't be then. She won't be available by then. I was like, she won't? No. And then somebody said, by summer. Nope. And I was like, what? When? Just give me a date. I need to look forward. I'll put it in my calendar. He won't say.
I just dropped it in the private chat from what I know.
I'll report it eventually. I don't want to look at it.
Okay.
I don't want to start crying.
It's not that bad.
Shadow says at this point, Collision is a much-watched show, and Ring. Yes, they're doing really good wrestling there. Ring of Honor went crazy. AEW is on fire. WWE is for the
birds.
I
think it's a bird emoji. There's no Rubik's Cube.
Honestly, it could have been like a skee ball machine. Like, my eyes are so bad. I don't know what that was. It's for the birds.
It's for the birds.
Anyway,
a skee ball machine.
AEW showed out. Maybe, I'm not sure. Yes, at this point, I am planning on watching Collision from tonight, and perhaps tomorrow evening I will be doing a C2 math special behind the paywall to talk about all the maths. I don't know, Kate, have you heard about the thing that happened? There's now a replacement in the C2 field.
I did. Yeah, for Darby, who has a camera in his hospital. That feels like a HIPAA violation.
Darby Allin is out with a grade 2 camera in his hospital room, and they replaced him with Jack Perry. So we will see where that goes from now on. But Jack's got a lot of catching up to do. Everybody else has had 2 matches, except for him and Mike Bailey. So he's got some people have had 3 matches. So Jack Perry's got 4 guys he's got to go through to start out with. So there's a lot of maths to do with the C2 maths. So planning on doing that.
I heard amazing things about Mox and Takeshita. I heard it was fantastic. So I look forward to watching Collision properly.
Yeah,
should be fun.
All right. Well, I will be colliding in the next 5 minutes, and then we'll see what we do with that. But
people in the chat are wondering where they can find my bridesmaids pics. If you're interested in finding out that I have a body that doesn't end right here at the shoulders, my handle is the same on social media as it is everywhere else. But you get in hair and makeup at 7 a.m, you better come out looking good. There better be some dopamine hits from likes on those photos. I'll tell you what. That's what I'm saying. No, but nice. I am Miss Kayfabe on social media. Alex, what did we learn today? Anything fun?
Femi is the greatest, but we already knew that.
We did know that. So take that with you throughout the rest of the weekend. I'm gonna do my best to be on there for C2 Math tomorrow with you. We're gonna see how I do.
We're gonna see it. You had a very long day yesterday. You had to do a show tonight over 2 hours long. We'll see how if you can join me for C2 Maths, but we'd love to have you. For sure.
Those are fun too because I mostly just watch you unravel, so I feel like I should be able to be there for that.
No, it's important that you're there to watch me unravel. So I have a support system.
It's the least work I do all year. I just watch you do math.
All right. Well, everybody, not everything sucks.
No, not everything.
Some things are very good, actually.
Some things are very good. What a beautiful sentiment to take forward into the holiday season. Some things are pretty good, actually.
Hey, you know what we get to say now that we thought we were never going to get to say again and have it be relevant? Keep cool, gabagools.
Yay!